All right, boys and girls, it's Miss White again. Yesterday we talked a little bit about accenting words, accenting syllables in words. So we're going to do a little bit of review on that before we learn something totally new. So I'm going to say a word and you're going to tell me where you hear me accent it. Tiger. Tiger. You hearing that in the first syllable? Tiger. Spider. Spider. Again, in the first syllable, spy is louder, longer, higher pitched. Elephant. Elephant. Again, it's in that first L that you hear. Antelope. Antelope. In that first syllable. All right. Next, we're going to go to our worksheet, and maybe I didn't tell you right off the bat, but we are on worksheet number 52. Go ahead and have that out. Make sure your name's on it so that if you're not at school, when you return to school, you'll have your name on there. We're going to look at numbers 1 through 10, and we're going to do what we've been doing all along, which is writing out the letter that goes with the sound that I say. So Miss White already used her whiteboard and wasn't thinking about how we are going to write out these sounds. So I'm going to do it on my sheet of paper instead. We have the J sound. J. This is the word we just learned last time. It's going to be a J. Next is, number 2 is sh. What two letters make up sh? If you have SH, you're correct. Number 3 is the oo sound, like in tooth. That would be the OO. Number 4 is O. We can do that by doing O, consonant, E, comma, O. Those are our options when we want to make the O sound. Number 5 is X. X. Do you remember what letter makes that X sound? It's an X. Number 6. Th. 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 That is the TH sound, and it's the unvoiced TH. Next, we're going to do th, which is the voiced th. So again, that's TH. Same letters, different sound. Next, we have U. You can make U by a U, consonant, E, or comma, just a U. And number 9 is Y. Y. And that's a Y. And number 10, W. W. That's just one letter that can make that W sound. It's a W. Great job. Alrighty. Next, we are going to talk about a new rule. Here's my board. See, I told you I already had it written on. Let's look at these words. What do we notice? What do we see that's alike? Does anyone see what's alike in these words? Did anyone say how the last 2 letters are the same? We either have 2 F's, 2 L's, or 2 S's. You would be right. Also, if you notice in all these words, the vowel sound is short. Sniff, stuff, off. For ill, sh, l, doll, p, ass, os, less. Also, another thing we can notice is that they're all one syllable. Off, stuff, sniff, doll, shell, fill, boss, pass, less. I read those out of order, sorry, they're backwards for me. So we notice all those things are the same, and they are all root words. All right, let's look at the word floss. F-L-O-S. S. Can you tell me how the word floss is like some of the words in here? So the word floss also has two S's, or an S at the end, one syllable, a vowel that would get a brev and be a short sound. So we're going to look at a new rule, and this rule is called the floss rule. We call it the floss rule because the word floss follows this rule, and it helps us remember how we're spelling these words. So when we're looking at these words, you could think that you could maybe just do one L. It still says f-I-L, but we need two L's based on our rule. Let's look at a word that wouldn't follow this rule. Let's look at this word. Can we sound this word out? B-U-S. It has everything. It's one syllable. It ends in an S. The U is short, so it gets the breath, and it says but it doesn't follow our rule. It's very sneaky. So it is a irregular spelling word. Our irregular spelling words, sometimes we just have to learn. Let's look at another word. Does this word follow our rule? Class. One syllable. The says it's a short vowel sound. And then it ends in the SS. So that does follow our rule. Class. All right. If we remember the word floss, it helps us remember this rule because it's one syllable, short vowel sound, and it also contains three letters that double at the end of the word of floss words. Refer to this word when you're practicing. Floss. Alrighty. Next, we are going to get our worksheet out. So we're going to practice writing down the ul sound. Ul, L, ul. And then we could do final ul, ul. It's a little tricky because that looks like a lot of lines, but we have the ul sound, and then that's the final sound. So at the end, we could have ul, ul for two L's. All right, so on number 11, I would like you to write down the ul sound. Ul, LL, and then write down your two LL. The next sound we're going to do just like that is S. S. So we can do S by S, or as a final sound, SS. S. S. SS. So on number 12, I want you to write down SS, like that. Number 13. Again, we're going to do a similar thing. And then as a final sound, we can have, so FF. And then on number 13, I want you to write down FF. Thank you. All right. Now, instead of decoding words, we're going to do something very different. I take that back. We're going to practice decoding one word here together. Miss. Again, we see that it's one syllable, miss. We have the two S's, so we know that that makes our I is a brev, and it's a short sound, so we have miss. Alrighty. We're going to try with a couple other words just to get some practice. Moss. Again, we have the two S's, so we're going to give this the brev, and we're going to have moss. Moss. This isn't on your worksheet. We're just doing this together, so you don't need to worry if you think you're not finding it somewhere. Gill. Again, we have the two L's, so we know that that I is going to get a breath, and it's going to be g-i-l. We're going to do two more. Tell. 2 L's. The E gets the breath. T-e-l. Are you guys catching on to this? And the last one we're going to do is off. Again, we have 2 F's there. The O gets the breath, so it says the aw sound. Off. Alrighty. Let's move on to the worksheet. Here we have some pictures, and we're going to go over them together because a couple of them I didn't know, and I had to look at the worksheet. All right, number 14. I want you to write the whole word down, so I want you to practice sounding it out and spelling it. Shell. Sh-e-l. And remember, is that going to follow our rule? Shell. It's 1 syllable. Sh-e. It has the short E. L. So number 14, we have sh. That's our digraph. L. That's how we should have spelled S-H-E-L-L. Number 15, that's a dress. So again, dress, 1 syllable, dress. D-r-s. We hear that our vowel is short, so let's practice spelling that out. D-r-s, and then our 2 S's at the end. Number 16. That's a frog. That doesn't sound like it's gonna frog. It could follow our rule, but let's see. F-r-o-g. But it's not it's a g sound at the end. So we talked about how our sounds have to be ul, s, or f at the end. And frog has a g sound. So it's not it doesn't fall into our floss rule, but it's going to be f-r-o-g. Just 1 G there. Number 17. That's a glass. Glass. 1 syllable. A is in there. So it's a short sound. And it ends in the s. So I think that is going to follow our rule. G-L-A-S. G-L-A-S-S. All right, number 18. This one I'm going to tell you what it is because Miss White didn't know until I looked at the key. It's pointing here at the bottom of your pant leg, which is where the cuff is. That's a cuff. So, k-a-f. It ends in the f. It's 1 syllable, cuff, and it has a sound in it. So let's see. K-a. 2 F's there at the end. Good job. And number 19, I dropped the paper, but you have yours. It's a bell. Bell. And then it's b-e-l. We have that short E sound. B-e-l. And it gets the 2 L's. Good job, guys. Let's get our worksheet out. Our worksheet is similar to other worksheets. We are going to read the paragraph. The paragraph are sentences that have the same idea, that are all about the same thing. And then we're going to answer the 3 questions on our own. And then down here we have our high frequency words. Again, find somebody at home that'll help you, let you read those words to them and get some practice in. All right, we'll see you on the next video.